Have you ever heard of an NDE? NDE stands for a near-death experience. And it's like a branch of science, but it's so much a part of a faith-based conversation, and a conversation that has to do with the spiritual world, the idea of near-death experiences. And I learned of a testimony of someone who had a near-death experience. His name was Mickey Robinson. Maybe you've heard of him. But Mickey Robinson experienced a plane crash. He was gravely injured. And he had an NDE. He had a near-death experience within this event. Now, I can't go into all the details of what he experienced, and I'm relaying secondhand this wonderful encounter. But there was one thing in that experience that really illuminated to me something that could be helpful to any of us. And this thing has to do with his experience. He's experiencing something else. He goes through a plane crash, he's gravely injured, and he experiences something else, something that's not what he knows. And what he finds himself doing, he finds himself communicating with a being. He's communicating with a being in a situation where there is no distance and there is no time. There is immediacy. There is now. There is presence. I can't begin to understand how this works and what this was like, but he described it. He offers this to us. He's saying, in my story, there is no time and there is no distance or space. However, in our story, in what we know in the day-to-day, we are constantly dealing with distance and the differences in time. And how does that affect us? If we can hone in on what that means to us, it might help us solve our problems. My name's Adam Lee Rosenfeld. I just want to encourage you to like and subscribe so you never miss out. If you want to go deeper, we can talk about culture, about how maybe your culture is broken and I want to help you fix it. I provide creative coaching in that area, using your creative power to fix what's wrong with your culture. And if you'd like to know more, visit adamleerosenfeld.com and subscribe there so you never miss a post or a podcast about that, and we can go deeper and I can help you out. Now, following on the heels of this NDE description from Mickey Robinson, I'm thinking of particular frustrations that I have had in my life. I have been frustrated with age differences, and I've been frustrated with cultural differences. Maybe you can see where this is going. But when we live in community with people, and when I say in community, we have all kinds of experiences of community, maybe even your own neighborhood, maybe your workplace, and of course faith-based communities and congregations and churches. You get lumped together as people, and you might experience age differences and cultural differences that are a challenge to you. Sometimes they might be so frustrated. How come, my parents don't get it? And how come, that person is just so different from me? We could never work together or reconcile our differences. And this makes me think of Mickey Robinson's NDE experience of his description, in the sense that, he was in a place of total immediacy. No difference between time and space, and he could communicate with that being. And there weren't any frustrations between age gaps or cultural differences. But we live in a time-bound, space-bound world. In fact, the term itself, secular is maybe viewed sometimes as a negative term, but secular simply means time-bound. It simply means that we're removed from the spiritual realm to a time-bound realm, and let's see how things work in that time-bound realm. Now I want to focus on a key word. That key word is reconciliation. That's a word that gets used a lot. It's an important word, but I keep going back to its appearance in 2 Corinthians 5:18 and 19 because we're given an assignment. The Bible says This is your job. If you're looking for an assignment in life, if you're looking for, what am I doing? What should I do? The Bible offers one. The Bible will give you a job. The Bible has a job description for you. 2 Corinthians 5:18-9, a ministry of reconciliation. We have a job to reconcile, to bring things together, bring things healed, to bring things whole. A reconciliation between God and man. Now, from theological aspect, man is separated from God because of sin. And so we have this job of somehow bringing man close to God. It's our job. But the operative word here is reconciliation. And if we could notice, there is a gap between us and other people. And I want to speak into that frustration. Maybe you're just frustrated because of age differences. Maybe your parents don't understand you and they don't get you. Maybe those people at the congregation or the church that you just wish, would understand you, they just don't get you, and you're in the wrong place and you don't belong. I just want to be clear that these differences are differences that require reconciliation. Reconciliation between cultures, reconciliation between generations, reconciliation between time and distance or space. What I'm trying to illuminate here is that these differences are not evil. People aren't bad for being a different culture from you. People aren't bad, obviously, for being a different age than you. They're not out to get you. They don't particularly dislike you. They're just dealing with their own vibe because of the limitations or the imposed limitations of the physical world, time and distance or space. Now, in conclusion, I've come to tell you that we all have these gaps and we will always have these gaps. If you just allow yourself to get frustrated and just to give up and throw your hands up and say, cultural differences, age differences, you're missing the point. If you can limit those differences in your understanding to simple differences between time and distance or space, you can learn to master these gaps. If you can master bridging these gaps between ages and cultures, you will have yourself preoccupied. You will be an invaluable person. Someone who knows how to reconcile age differences and culture differences is an important person and is a very helpful person. So I want to encourage you to learn to master the reconciliation of these differences. This is Adam Lee Rosenfeld. If you want to go deeper with me, I want to talk about how and what way your culture is broken so we can learn how to fix it with your creative power. That's why I provide creative coaching. You can visit my site, adamleerosenfeld.com, and you can subscribe so you never miss out on a post or a podcast. Thanks for listening.